Look, I understand. I know. I said I was going to do a Doctor Strange 2 spoiler talk, and I did record it the day actually I did the regular review. Then I got really busy. By the time I was going to get to it, it was going to take me a couple days to edit, more excuses to come, and so stay tuned. And I just thought by the time it was done, it was going to maybe be a little too, take too long to come out. So I don't know. If you want to see it, I'll put it out there. I'll edit it. I'll put out a spoiler talk. But at this point, I don't, there's a lot of other spoiler ones, and I would have to record because I missed some details that I want to go over. So anyway, I'm sorry about that if you cared. But anyway, let me get into the movie that I most recently saw, which was Top Gun Maverick.
What do we have here?
God, here I thought we were special.
Fellas, this here's Bagman.
Hangman.
Whatever.
What the hell kind of mission is this?
Everyone here is the best there is. Who the hell are they gonna get to teach us?
So in case you haven't seen the first one, so you're not sure what Top Gun is, Top Gun is where they take the most elite group of pilots, the 12 most elite in the US military, they bring them together, and in the first one, it was more so to see who was the Top Gun. It was kind of almost like a contest in a way, but to also get them prepared for very special missions. And this one, Tom Cruise gets hired back. It's over 30 years later. He gets hired to be the teacher, the instructor for a new group of 12 to complete this very particularly dangerous mission where it's going to be really hard to complete. He only has 3 weeks to teach them, and for anyone who can even complete it, it's not likely for you to come back alive. And so really his goal is to help them get prepared, and also he wants to make sure they do get back home, and that's kind of where this one is heading. So if you haven't seen the first Top Gun movie, I am going to go over some things from it just to make it easier when giving my review for this movie. In case, you don't want to know, that Netflix has Top Gun out until the 30th, so I guess one more day from when this should be out. But you don't need to see the first one, and I'll get into that. I'm not going to get super spoilerish. There are some details where if you want to see the first one, you probably shouldn't watch this until you have. But anyway, I know everyone says this, but Tom Cruise is 60 years old, and this guy, I don't know what he's doing. I don't know. Maybe I got to take up Scientology. Maybe it's that Scientology treatment. He might be onto something here. I don't know, because he looks good for 60. I will say before the movie, he did have one of those, where some movies the actor comes out and he's like, "Thanks for watching my movie." If you see this, Tom, I'm sorry, maybe you need a little more Scientology in there. I starting to see the wrinkles, but still looks way better than I imagine I'm going to look at 60. So overall, how do I feel this is compared to the first one? Now, I just saw the first one a couple days ago. I just finished it. I thought it was good, but I didn't really see where the hype was. I wasn't too sure why like it's a huge movie to the point where everyone's so stoked to see this one. And I think now, having seen this one, the reason I really think that is because in the first movie, again, this is where I'm kind of going to go over some stuff that happens. Again, the synopsis for that one is more so they're training, they're going to see who Top Gun is, and whoever gets Top Gun essentially gets to choose what they want to do. Like for US military, like for pilots, they can be an instructor, they do this and that. They're going to get like the highest honors for a pilot. And what really stands out in this one that for me didn't really in the first one when I was watching it, it was harder for me to kind of be put in their spot where I'm like, just getting in this aircraft and flying and doing what they're doing is just dangerous in itself. Any moment, like, you can die. Like if you do something wrong, if you run into the other guy, while you're even doing a training mission. And I guess I didn't really feel that because Tom Cruise was just this, it was just always his ego precedes him. He would do things that you weren't supposed to, that were against the rules, but he would still complete his mission with ease. And so for me as a viewer, like someone who doesn't do this, it's hard to be put into this situation or to put myself into that position and be like, wow, this seems tough, or this seems very taxing on your body, even though, I knew that stuff kind of going in. I know I can't just get into any jet and just fly it. I can't get into any jet and just fly it. In the first one, I didn't really feel the tension in it. I didn't feel like there was much at stake. And then you get to the point where, you know, there is something at stake and they're starting to go down, and then basically, well, not basically, but Goose ejects, and whatever actually happened, I couldn't really tell what happened, because at first it seemed like both of them ejected correctly, but then Goose hit like the top. I don't know if it ejected too fast or in a wrong angle or what it was. I don't remember if they kind of explained it, but you see that happen, you're like, oh shit, okay. And then at the end of the movie, obviously, when they're in the what do you call it, like when they're in a gunfight, a dogfight, I think that's what it is. So I didn't really feel that in the first one, whereas in this one you have the 12 elite, so you know they're the best of the best, but the way that they kind of explain this mission and are going through each individual part of the mission, it seems so incredibly difficult, and knowing that these are the best guys, you're like, wow, this is actually crazy. And there are multiple occasions where you get put in a position where just doing this training is extremely difficult. And you can put aside that they all have their own kind of egos, and there's one guy in particular played by Glenn Powell by the name of Hangman, who he's like the ultra ego guy who thinks he can do whatever he wants. You know, that adds an element of danger to it, and you know, he's a wild card just like Tom Cruise was in the first one. So there's elements way more often in this where you're just not sure what's going to happen. Even in training, you're like, you're put in a position where every time we're going to go into the next objective, whatever it is, the next step into training for this hard mission, you're like, oh, this next step seems crazy. This seems very taxing on this person. They even go over like, you know, your lungs are going to implode when you do this, or you know, you're going to weigh 2,000 pounds when you do this. It just adds more to the experience, and as a viewer, being able to put yourself in that position. I think that's why I enjoyed this one a lot more actually than the first one. I think this is a very, very great movie. I don't want, you know, it's not a 10 for me. But I think it's a very good movie in the sense where anyone can go to see it. You don't have to see the first one. That's going to be the next thing I kind of go over, is that you really don't need to see the first one, because they show you flashbacks from the first one, and they kind of explain even the one storyline that's connecting and that's a branch of the first movie. They go over what's kind of happened. And then there's a new branch off of that branch that's completely different, that doesn't have to do with the first movie, that they kind of go over, that adds an element to basically to Rooster, who is Goose's son in this movie, who doesn't take a liking to Tom Cruise because he just kind of has bad blood for him, and you find out more so why it is. It's just one of those you don't have to, you could just grab a bag of popcorn, enjoy the movie for what it is. There's no extra substance to it. It's very tense, thrilling. It's a fun, enjoyable watch. There's a couple funny moments in it. And you know, it's one of those where even though there's not anything extra to it, it's just good. It's enjoyable. There's a lot of those ones where they try to catch you with all the action, and the action's not great, or it's the same thing over and over. But I think this is a really cool balance of just the little conflicts that are here and there, and then actually like the training, and not everything's the same. It's not like a car chase where they're going left and right and then right and then left and then left and then right and someone's chasing them. There's actually more elements to it, and with all the different personalities that are in this movie, it adds more to it as well. Then we have, like I said, some continuing storylines. I mean, you have Val Kilmer as a cameo, which there's not really a storyline that continues there. It's just cool to see him. I was not sure because of his current condition, you know, if it was going to be distracting, how it was going to turn out, but I think they used him perfectly, and I think it's really cool that he came back for it. I've seen his documentary you can watch. It's called Val. It's on Amazon Prime, where it kind of goes over his acting career and kind of, you know, his condition and how it started to progress and everything, and where he's at now. And he just seems like a really great, optimistic, fun-loving person, and I think it's really cool they used him again really good. He did really good in this. Like, for the limitations that he has, he did really, really well. And it was really cool to see him back in this one. And I also think Tom Cruise does really good in this. And particularly, I know he's in a lot of action stuff, and I haven't seen all of his movies, so I can't say he's just this either really great or really bad actor. I think for what I've seen from him, this one, he has some really good subtle emotions in it. And I think this is the best performance I've seen from him, where just seeing certain aspects, there's certain points in this movie where you can really, really feel the emotion through the screen in his face. And even when he's in the fighter jets and when he's riding it, you can really, really just feel that emotion through it. You just get that aura, you feel the atmosphere. Next you have I just want to go over a little bit of stuff that I wasn't a huge fan of, but it's whatever. You know, you have the storyline with Penny, who's played by Jennifer Connelly, who is kind of shoehorned into this movie because she didn't have any part in the first one, but they kind of go over how she was just this ex, now this fling that he ends up reigniting because of it was someone different from the first one. It wasn't Kelly McGinnis in this one. That I didn't really feel anything with that, so for me it didn't really do anything. You have John Hamm's character, who plays that guy that's really just there for the audience to be like, Tom Cruise, prove him wrong, because he like really disrespects, does not like Maverick at all. And so he's kind of like almost hoping for the downfall of Maverick and sort of lightens up, but he's that guy that you just throughout the movie you're like, I don't like you, I want Maverick to prove you wrong. I didn't think it was particularly great acting from him, but I don't really know, you know, personally how good you can really make a character like that. Last thing, really, Hans Zimmer. I did not know when I was watching the opening credits and it said Hans Zimmer for the score. I knew that this was going to be a good movie. It's just anything Hans Zimmer does, like, it's just a good movie. And then his, just everything, you just really get immersed within the moment. Every time you hear a score from him, he's just one of those composers now. And it's been like this for a while, but if Hans Zimmer is connected to the project, you have to see it. Even if it's just for that amazing, like those violins, those basses, it's just, he's such a good composer. Anytime he's on a project, I gotta go see that movie in theaters, specifically just with the surround sound. It's great. I didn't see this in Dolby or IMAX. I'm sure it would have been even better in one of those. I'm just personally not a huge fan of IMAX. Dolby I love, but for the time frame, I just went to a regular showing. Overall, this movie I thought was very good, and I think this is a type of movie that's going to, I think, inspire kids and inspire just different people to actually want to become a pilot or maybe join the Air Force. And it's one of those where even though you see the danger within it, you see the camaraderie between everybody. I guess I don't know how to explain it. It's just one of those things where you watch it and you like want to be there while they're there. Even in the dangerous moments, you're like, I want to try to accomplish this mission. My overall for this movie, I'm gonna have to give this one a 7.9. Why not just give it an 8? For me, if it's an 8, I want to I feel like I'm going to want to rewatch it multiple times in the future. And for most movies, and personally for me, for this one, I liked it and I would watch it again. I would go to the theater actually to see it again. But I don't see myself like coming back to it a lot in the future. And so I'm going to give it a 7.9 because it's right there. It's right there. Like, it's almost to a point. Maybe if it was shorter, it's 2 hours and 11 minutes. Didn't feel like it, but maybe if it was a little shorter, it would be more. I would watch more. I don't know. But 7.9. I did see Men, if anyone's curious for a review for that, and I'm going to actually do my review for that right now, right after this. So look out for that. Go ahead and, you know, tell me what you think in the comments. Did I hit it on the head? Did you not like it at all? Did you like the first one more than this one? Am I crazy for liking this one more than the first one? But yeah, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit notifications so you know whenever I put out more reviews. Hit the like if you liked it, and leave a comment like I said. With that being said, I hope you have a great day.
Having any fun yet?